Grammar for the real world. Why grammar is a tool, not a test. You were failed by your grammar education, not because you were bad at it, because it was taught as a test you could pass or fail, not as a tool you could use. The difference between those two things is the difference between a student who can ace a worksheet and an adult who cannot write an email that gets a response before a deadline. Today we are talking about grammar for the real world, what that distinction actually means, and what happens when you start treating language as a working instrument instead of a set of rules to memorize and forget. You are listening to the Voice of Sovereignty at Global Sovereign University. This is the podcast about the education the system withheld and the tools that were always yours. Today's book is Grammar for the Real World, Absorbing Foundational Facts. It is Kindle ASIN BZVL. It is available on Amazon right now, and the free digital companion hub is at globalsovereignuniversity.org. No login, no cost, no gatekeeping. Let me tell you what most grammar education actually teaches. It teaches you to be afraid. Every red circle on a returned paper, every correction was made in front of the class. Every test where the question was which of these is wrong rather than which of these works. Those experiences created a relationship with language built on anxiety rather than capability. And here is what that anxiety costs you as an adult. It costs you the email you rewrote 6 times and sent anyway, uncertain. The report where you changed every sentence because you were not sure it was right. The presentation was a place where the idea was strong, but the language undermined it. The job application was where someone with less experience but more confidence in their words got the call. Grammar for the real world starts from a different premise. Grammar is not a test. Grammar is how meaning survives contact with a busy, distracted, skeptical world. When your grammar works, your meaning arrives intact. When it does not, your meaning gets lost, and you rarely know where. The central framework of this book is what I call the core 4. Every sentence that needs to accomplish something in the real world must answer 4 questions. Who is responsible? What is happening? When it is happening? Why it matters? That is it. 4 questions. When all 4 are answered clearly in a sentence, the sentence works. When any one of them is fuzzy, you get the thing that costs organizations millions of dollars every year. A misunderstanding that nobody intended and everybody suffered. Let me give you the example the book opens with. Can you send me that report when you get a chance? That sentence is grammatically correct. It has a subject, a verb, and an object. It is polite, and it missed a deadline. Why? Who is responsible? You. But vaguely, what is happening? Send a report, but which one? When? When you get a chance, which is not a deadline. Why does it matter? Nowhere to be found. Now the version with the core 4 applied. Could you send the Q3 report by 3 p.m. today so I can attach it to the client email? Same request, same politeness, 4 grammar moves, 0 ambiguity. The other person is not wrong to act on their own schedule when you give them a vague time anchor. Your grammar created that outcome. And the fix takes about 8 words. The second tool in this book that I want to highlight is what I call the Misread Test. It is the single most practical editing habit Dr. Constant has ever built. Before you send anything important, pause for 5 seconds and ask one question. What is the worst reasonable interpretation of what I just wrote? Not the most hostile interpretation, the most plausible one. The tired colleague was reading it fast. The client who does not have your context. The supervisor is already skeptical. If your sentence survives that question, send it. If it does not, the fix is usually 2 or 3 words. The third major concept in this book is code switching, and this one changes the way people think about correctness entirely. English is not one uniform you must wear everywhere. It is a closet. You choose what fits the room you are walking into. The text to a friend, the professional email, and the formal report are all correct English. They follow different patterns because they serve different contexts. The ability to shift between them deliberately and comfortably is not pretension. It is a range. This book builds that range one pattern at a time. Here is what makes this book different from every other grammar book you have encountered. It does not ask you to read it and trust that the concepts will stick. Grammar for the Real World is part of the Wisdom Bridge, GSU's Digital Learning Program. where every nonfiction title connects to a free digital mastery checkpoint. You read the chapter, you go to the hub, you prove you absorbed it before you advance. The Chapter 1 checkpoint is live right now at globalsovereignuniversity.org. It gives you the before and after rewrite exercise from the book, the hidden actor identification problem, and the code switching scenario, all drawn directly from Chapter 1. Not because the quiz exists to test you, because proving to yourself that you can apply what you read is the entire difference between content you consumed and a skill you built. That is the wisdom bridge. The book opens the door. The hub proves you walked through it. Grammar for the real world, absorbing foundational facts. Kindle Assign B0GSMYTSVL on Amazon. The affiliate link is in the show notes with every other resource. The free Wisdom Bridge checkpoint for Chapter 1 is at globalsovereignuniversity.org. No login, no cost. The chapter exercises, the before and after lab, and the Misread Test are all free. If you were told at some point in your life that you were not good at writing, this book is the direct challenge to that verdict. You were not bad at it. You were never properly taught what it is for. This is the voice of sovereignty. The education belongs to you. Go claim it.